Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, trend update. ISIS and Al-Qaeda to join forces? Question mark. April 26, 2017. We got a map here of Syria. We'll go into depth what's going on there in just a few seconds. While the rest of the world is watching heightened political and military tension on the Korean Peninsula, this story is flying under the radar. ISIS and Al-Qaeda are considering joining forces. Now, in the beginning, ISIS spun off from Al-Qaeda over philosophical differences. Al-Qaeda wanted to focus on the West and the United States. ISIS wanted to focus on the Middle East region. ISIS also believed Al-Qaeda was not violent enough for their taste, so the two groups separated. And here we are 3 years later, and the two groups are discussing a reunion. Now, both groups are of the Sunni brand of Islam, and it will be important to try to understand Sunni v. Shia in this big picture. And then we have some Sunni on Sunni violence, and this whole thing's going to get very confusing. And this is from the Inquisitor.com, www.inquisitr.com. Link will be provided if anybody wants to read in more detail in regards to these issues. Now, it appears that the country that stands to lose the most in this reunion would be Syria. President Assad and his supporters, Iran, and Lebanon's Hezbollah, are Shia Muslims. And so we're going to take a look at this current map. We're going to start in the north of Syria. Jeremiah 49, verse 23, concerning Damascus, Hamath and Arpad are put to shame. So we're going to go to the northern part of Syria. And here we have Aleppo, modern day Aleppo. Ancient Arpad of Jeremiah 49 is located approximately 10 miles north of modern-day Aleppo. Note where the violence is located on the map. Syrian government forces, which are Shia, are encountering Al-Qaeda in Syria, or al-Nusra, and that would be Sunni in the north. They are represented in the green on the map to the west and south of Aleppo. Now, this shade of green is Turkey. This is Al-Qaeda in Syria, al-Nusra. And then also we have Kurds here in the yellow. Also, Sunni Kurds are battling Sunni Turks in this area. And so I will back out and take a look at what's going on north into Turkey. Now, Turkey's Recep Erdogan has recently gained more power via election. Erdogan is on the move with military intervention against the Kurds across southern Turkey. So the Kurds have this region in southern Turkey, also reaches into northern Iraq. But for the point of this video, you can see Turkey is rapidly moving more armaments to the south, starting some shelling and bombing of Kurdish positions. Want to keep our eyes on that. I expect this guy to do more damage and try to get further south, eventually probably headed toward Mosul, but that's for another day. We'll go south into Syria, into modern day Hama. And here is Hama, right here in the center, south of all the military activity. Now you can see to the north, and again Hama, which would be ancient Hamath, from Jeremiah 49. Again, Syrian government forces, Shia, are encountering Al-Qaeda in Syria, or al-Nusra, and they are Sunni. And this again would be the group in the green. The Sunnis are in the green, Shia are in the red. Also note, to the east, about 25, 30 miles east of Hama, we have gray, which would be ISIS. Now again, imagine if gray and green get together, Al-Qaeda and ISIS. I mean, we've got some real problems. I mean, ISIS and Al-Qaeda would have significant territory. Moving furthest south in Syria is the capital of Damascus. And so we will focus in on Damascus. Syrian government forces, again Shia, are primarily encountering Al-Qaeda in Syria, or al-Nusra. Again, that's in the green, the light shade of green. And again, those folks are Sunni. Israel and the Golan Heights are located approximately 30 miles to the south and just a smidge to the west of Damascus. Now, also of interest and potentially of concern at some point in the future, here is the Jordan-Syria border. Consider an alliance of Sunni Arabs from the south consisting of Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. President Trump has recently met with leaders from these three countries, and their concern is the growing threat of a nuclear Iran over here to the east. The end result, Isaiah 17, verse 1. The oracle concerning Damascus. Behold, Damascus is about to be removed from being a city, and it will become a fallen ruin. So we're getting more participants into the theater that is Syria. It's becoming increasingly more involved with more alliances, more countries, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse. So if you're interested in this topic, please feel free to check out paulthepoke.com, keyword ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Damascus, burden of Damascus, Isaiah 17, Jeremiah 49, Hamath, Arpad. Thanks for listening. Take care.